Hey, welcome to Maximum Bat Speed. I want to do this video today with Sierra Romero on pullback mechanics and how pullback mechanics, if done correctly, can create tremendous separation, tremendous power in your swing. Just an awesome way to just truly utilize your body to the fullest. And I'm going to show you here what's going on with Sierra Romero. Now, this is from a different angle. Usually I do videos from direct opposite side batter's box view. This is from like the backstop view. So you're going to get a different perspective on what's going on with the body, with the pullback, and what can happen if you apply this, what can happen to your swing, because Sierra Romero, she just has tremendous separation in her swing. She has tremendous torque, just does a great job with her sequence and how to get the back elbow working up, back, and behind her. So I hope this video is helpful to you, and let's get started. Now, the first thing I want to show you here is she's at the setup. And one thing I just want to show you here is this. Like you notice here when she sets up, she pretty much has her back kind of like this. Many times with players, when they end up setting up, they have kind of a curvature in their back. So in other words, they have a kind of a more of a look where the back is kind of like this, okay? And that's not what you want in your swing. You want it, again, more like Sierra Romero. Just has a really nice upright torso, just nice and tall. You can see here with her neck, nice and tall, and you can see her eyes and everything fully focused on the pitcher right now. As far as her lower body, you can see here she looks very athletic with the lower body, just enough flexion in her legs, just like if she was playing shortstop or outfield. Just a really, really nice setup. Now, as we go further back, continue on with this video here, watch what's going on here. Now she's at the setup, and as she starts to get into her gather, a few things are going on right here, okay? Now, what's going on right here, and just pay attention to this. Notice her arms, okay? Even though her arms are dropping, and with her right now, for example, her style is to start with her hands up here, okay? Some players start with their hands up high, some start with them right here, some start with their hands even lower, okay? That doesn't matter. What matters is that when she starts to get into her gather, you're gonna notice how relaxed and how quiet her arms are, as far as there's no pullback, there's no resistance. She's just kind of setting into that back hip socket right here, okay? So you see what's going on right there? She's just letting her body just sink right into that back hip socket. It's a very subtle move. She's at the apex of her gather, and you can see right here what's going on. Her hands right now at the apex of the gather are right here, okay? Which means that at this stage of the swing, her hands would be pretty much directly over the front of her back foot right here, okay? There'd be a few inches in front of her back foot. You notice here that her elbow right now at this stage of the swing, it's, just draw a circle here. You'll see that her elbow's right here. And basically her arms and her hands and elbows pretty much in front of her body, or pretty much in line with her chest, okay? Now, this is important because what happens with a lot of players at this stage of the swing, they usually, what they do, they end up pulling back too early. They get a lot of separation too early. Therefore, they end up leaking their load prematurely, okay? And that's not what you want in your swing. So by this, what I'm showing you right now I'm just gonna talk about this a little bit more, but just to give you an idea, to clarify what I'm saying here, watch what goes on right here. As she starts to get into her toe touch, watch now what's going on with her hands, and watch what's going on with her back elbow. Notice how the hands now are going back and the back elbow is going back as she gets into her toe touch. So now there's something that has occurred in her swing, okay? Now the her back elbow has worked up, back, and behind her, and her hands now, they were in front, okay, in front of her foot. Now they're right over the shoelace area. Why? Because of the pullback, okay? So a couple things happen here, okay? Again, let's back this up. You can see here, she's at the apex of the gather right here, apex of the gather. Her elbow is right there where you see it around the circle right there. Her hands are there. Now you can see that her back elbow is working up, back, and behind her. Her hands are shifted. Now her hands are right there, right over the shoelace area, okay? Now, this is important to understand, because what happens with a lot of players is when they end up doing this move, when they go from the actual apex of the gather and they start to get into their toe touch, okay, what they do, they carry their hands with them. What Sierra Romero does, she reaches the apex of the gather, her hands are right over the front of her back foot, and they move back towards her shoelace, okay? They don't move forward and they don't move back. As she gets into her toe touch, the back elbow works up, back, and behind her, okay? Pay attention. Again, this is crucial for you, because if you want to improve your power, if you want to improve your separation in your upper body, if you want to improve your hand path, what she's doing right here is just amazing, okay? Because this is what should occur in a swing. Now, one thing I'm going to mention to you, right now she's at the apex of the gather, like I just mentioned. Now, be aware that some players at the apex of the gather have their elbow down here like this. Now, hers is higher. Whether it's low or high, it doesn't matter. What matters at this stage of the swing is that you just have relaxed arms, relaxed elbows, and that your hands should be pretty much at the front of the back foot, okay? So just assume, like many players in the MLB, and you see them in softball, where their elbow is pretty much down like this at the apex of the gather, okay? Now, again, Sierra's is a little higher. That's her style. That's fine. But watch what's going on right here. As she starts to get into her toe touch, okay? Watch what's going on. The back elbow's working up, back and behind her. As she gets into her toe touch, she's at toe touch. Now, if you were to start with your elbow right here, okay, down like this at the apex of the gather, and you let that back elbow work up, back and behind you, look how much the back elbow would be traveling from here to here. Not only that, you're going to have what I always talk about in my videos. You want to have that kind of shoulder to elbow look, just like this, okay? Just like this. Now, if you pay attention to what's going on right here, watch where her shoulders are pointing because of the pullback, because of the separation. They're pointing pretty much to the area of the second baseman, okay? Now, watch what happens right here. When she reached the apex of the gather, we'll back this up a little bit right here. She's at the apex of the gather. Notice where her shoulders are pointing at the apex of the gather. They're pointing in this way. So she went from literally having her shoulders pointing pretty much where the pitcher is because of the pullback, because of the resistance. Watch the back elbow. As she's doing that, pay attention to her chest. What's going on right there with her shoulders? Now they're down, pointing all the way to the second baseman. That's tremendous separation. That's what pullback happens. What pullback does, it causes you to have that beautiful separation, that beautiful pullback. So what I would recommend for you, as you're getting into your stride, do this in front of a mirror. Let your back elbow work up, back, and behind you, okay? So let your hands travel from the apex of the gather, from the front of your foot to the back of your shoelaces. But as you're doing that, let your back elbow work up, back, and behind you, up, back, and behind you. It doesn't matter if you start with your hands low, your elbow, back elbow down at the apex of the gather, as long as you're letting that back elbow work up, back, and behind you. And I cannot emphasize this enough, okay? When you are at the setup, okay, again, watch what's going on here. She's nice and upright. She's getting into the apex of the gather. She's nice and relaxed, nice and relaxed. She reaches the apex of the gather. Again, watch her back elbow. Watch what's going on with her chest, her shoulders. Watch how much she starts to separate from the lower body, how much her body will begin to close, how her body starts to close, and her back elbow is working up, back, and behind her, up, back, and behind her as she's getting into toe touch. This is amazing right here. Now, another thing that's going on with Sierra Romero is this, which is, this is very important to understand, because she continues to apply pullback. Watch what's going on right now. Now, her bat right now is pointing at this angle right here, okay? So I always talk about in my videos, when you get to toe touch, you pretty much want your bat to be pointing almost to the catcher's glove area. So let's just assume that's the catcher's glove, okay? So she's at toe touch right now. Watch what's going on right here with her swing. And I'm also, another thing I'm gonna draw for you here, and I'll go ahead and change the color to make this a little bit more clear for you here. This is going to be right here where her shoulders are, okay? Her shoulders right now are pointing again in this direction, like this, like to the second baseman area, okay? Now watch what's going on right here. She's at toe touch. As she starts to get into her swing, watch her bat angle. Her bat stays pretty much right there, still pointing to the catcher's glove, still pointing to the catcher's glove, still pointing to the catcher's glove area. And look at her shoulders. Her top shoulder is still higher than her front one, okay? And her elbow, of course, is starting to slot down because she's getting ready to hit the ball. But the thing that you have to understand here, the reason she's able to do this is because of the resistance, because of the pullback. A great drill for you to do is this. Look in the mirror, okay? And you can look in opposite side batter's box view, or you can look at this if you're looking behind you, if there's a mirror behind you. Make sure that your bat, as you get into your toe touch and as you get into your heel plant, as you start to rotate your hips, that your bat angle is still pointing to the catcher's glove, okay? And at this stage of the swing, again, just like I mentioned, watch that blue line where her shoulder line is. Again, this is crucial not to miss this. Her shoulder line at toe touch, you can see where it's pointing to the second baseman. I go 1 frame, 2 frames, 3 frame. you can see here that her shoulder line has not changed. Her from shoulder to shoulder, her top shoulder is higher than her front one. And you can see here that the bat is still pointing where it was at toe touch. Why? Because of the pullback, because of the resistance. So what I'm asking you to do is when you're doing this drill, you want to feel pullback. You want to feel resistance. You want to make sure that, watch the back elbow again. This is the key, guys, ladies. Let the back elbow work up, back, and behind you. You get to toe touch. Feel the pullback, feel the pullback, feel the pullback. That's what's going to give you that beautiful shoulder to elbow look at toe touch, and it's going to give you a higher shoulder on the back shoulder than the front one when you get to heel plant, and the bat will still be pointing to the catcher's glove. Therefore, what that does, when you get into your swing, you're going to have early bat speed. The bat speed will be behind you. You're going to have a beautiful, beautiful plane with your swing. In other words, I'm talking about is this. Watch your shoulder plane. This is her shoulder plane right here, and look at her bat plane. The shoulder plane and bat plane right now are on a perfect plane. Therefore, meaning that she is just rotating beautifully, letting the bat shallow behind her, okay? Shallow behind her, and by that I mean this. Watch what's going on with her bat. And this is very important too. As far as the bat shallowing, the reason that happens with the best players in the world, and I'll go ahead and change the color again so you can see this clearly. I'll draw a line here with the bat. And watch what's going on here. And by shallowing the bat, and this is what the best players in the world do, as she starts to get into her swing, watch how the bat starts to shallow. In other words, it's dropping down underneath that plane. And from there, the lead elbow works up to the height of the mouth. She's getting an outside pitch right there. And watch what she does. She blasts this to opposite field, to right center field there. Just a beautiful shot right there. So again, I hope this video has been helpful. The thing that I want you to take away from this video right here is this, that when you get into your toe touch, the back elbow should work up, back, and behind you. Remember, at the apex of the gather, you want your hands in front of your back foot. As you get into your toe touch, the hands move back to the back of the shoelaces where the back elbow works up, back, and behind you. Again, watch this. You can't get enough of this. Watch this, back and behind you. Look at that separation of the shoulders, the lower body. And again, watch what's going on right here. She stays there. Watch what's happening. She stays there. She stays there. And then the back shoulder still higher than the back one as she starts to get into her swing. Look at this, just beautiful right here. Again, I hope you like this video. Please give me a like if you enjoyed it. I have an online video analysis that I do for people. It's on my website. Just go to my website. And also too, I have a video that I sell on my website. It's only $60. It's about 2 hours and 45 minutes long. I really think you'll like it. It's to teach parents, coaches how to build a swing, talk a lot about what I'm talking about in this video, but in a lot more greater detail. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you watching my channel. Thank you so much. And you guys have a blessed day. All right. All right. Thank you.